Good day and welcome aboard, everyone. My name is HarleyTrek, and these are the voyages. I hope today finds everyone well. I am in fine fettle and just enjoying life today. Me and my pal Cash here are out on a rip, just seeing where the road takes us. I'm making this video in not in response, but in companion to a video that theSMYRNAcowboy posted up this morning. It is Sunday, September 11th, the 15th anniversary of 9/11. I really should have done that differently based on how I want to go. That's all right. Wanted to go back the other way. He posted a video this morning on where were you on that day? What were you doing? And I thought I would chime in with my experiences of that day in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The morning of September 11th, I believe it was a Monday, if memory does indeed serve, my wife, at the time, myself, and her grandmother had just returned the previous day, September 10th, from Houston, Texas, where we had flown out to spend a week with her aunt and uncle. And that was a little unnerving after the fact. Actually, I don't believe I have not been on an airliner since 9/11. Actually, so 15 years I've stayed on the ground. Not that I'm have much of a need or desire to fly anywhere. I don't think that I would be opposed to it if I had to, but I ain't got to. So anyway, then I was the manager at our local Barnes & Noble booksellers. A lovely space and a lovely time in my life. I really enjoyed that job until I didn't anymore, and that's when I left. But we hadn't even opened the store yet, of course. I mean, it happened at a little after 8. Store hours were 9 to 11 that day, and I was the opening manager. As the general manager, I had 2 assistants, and we would rotate opening and closing. It was I'd been off, so I was elected to open up that morning. And whenever we do unlock the doors, I mean, we get the first rush on the Starbucks cafe of folks heading to work. But we didn't know anything odd was going on. I mean, we didn't play radios in the store or anything while we're getting ready to open. I don't really remember if we had just opened. I think we had just opened, and the first customer in the door said, "Have you heard about what happened at the World Trade Center?" I'm going, "No." Well, say, an airliner has struck it. And like theSMYRNAcowboy, and like I'm sure most of us at that time, we thought it was just a horrible accident. I have been to New York City And and just watching the amount of air traffic in and out of that place, it's kind of hard to believe that, you know, there's not stuff bumping into other stuff all the time. But it wasn't, you know, a little bit after that when another customer said it's a terror attack. A second airliner has hit the other tower. So we had a television in the break room, and I zipped back there and turned it on, and sure enough, there it was unfolding. So I picked up the TV and slapped it on a library cart and rolled it out to the sales floor. You know, Barnes & Nobles have an information desk where you can go to get help finding a book or what have you, and I rolled it up there, and reception wasn't the best. Of course, it was over the air, but it was clear enough, and you know, we were all transfixed. You know, the hope of getting any but the minimal amount of work done. Hey, there's Cash Drive. Was, you know, blown out the airlock, and customer count was non-existent. I mean, we had people from other stores in the strip center coming in and going out. We were all commiserating as events unfolded, and then the Flight 103 news broke, and we were all just appalled. And we had no customers. Everybody was in full panic mode. Planes ordered out of the sky. My shift that day was, let's see, I think I left early that day at about 2 o'clock. The closing manager came in, and we'd already received word from corporate to shut the store down at 6 o'clock. The mall was closing. I was adjacent to Hamilton Place Mall, which is the biggest mall in, well, between here and Atlanta, and all points around. So they were shutting down. You know, the gas rush was on. I stopped when I got on the way home to fill up the car, or to get get all the cars filled up, and gas had already jumped to like $3.50, $4 a gallon. And the day previous it was $2, maybe $1.90 something for regular unleaded. And of course, my wife and I spent all evening glued to the television set. Excuse me. And I made the same comment on Smyrna Cowboy's video. But that day, we all witnessed the absolute worst and the absolute best in humanity. So heinous an act. And I have trouble wrapping my brain around the theology that commands that to happen. I just don't understand, nor do I wish to understand. I do know that the events following that tragedy for the next few days made me very proud to be an American. For one brief shining instant, We were not Democrat and Republican. We were not conservative and liberal. We were not black, white, yellow. We were Americans. I'll never forget when the House and the Senate said, "Whatever you want, Mr. President, you got it," to paraphrase. Of course, that was brief. It was fleeting, and I'm sad to say that I think as a society we've forgotten that. Yes, it's 15 years, and when I look back, I mean, 15 years, good grief. That's a long time. A mere blink in history's timeline, but still. As a nation, we were forever changed by that event. We will never be so trusting again, and I'm sure similar comments were made after the attack by the Japanese on Pearl Harbor. This is certainly the worst event that I can remember in my lifetime. When Smyrna Cowboy touched on the assassination of President Kennedy, I was still 3 years out from conception at that point, so my mom does recount sitting in school, and then, you know, everybody switched on television sets when the news came down, and they sent everybody home. But I shall echo the sentiments of many in that I enjoin you never to forget. And if I put a southern spin on it, forget hail. We shall not forget. Thanks for listening to me vent my spleen on this, folks. And as always, ride 'em if you got 'em, and live long and prosper.